Hey, it's George, Kansas. I welcome you to this page and this video talking about my work in the world. I call it the inquiries, and it has, over the past 30 years, a version of it in one way or another has helped me help leaders of leaders get deeper into themselves so that when they communicate with others, they are confident in knowing that their energy is consistent with the image they have of themselves, is consistent with the image they're interested in putting out in the world and being in the world. And so, if that is something you aspire to, something to have your communication reach the people you need it to reach so that you can continue to do the work that you're here to do, then I invite you to really continue with this video because I'm going to explain the model behind the inquiries, and I'm going to invite you into playing with the inquiries with me on this video. And, it may spark some really great questions. In my experience, it always does. It may inspire you to look deeper into who you are and why you are. And, if it leads to further conversations between you and I, awesome. If it doesn't, that's awesome too. The main point of this is to share a body of work that has meant the difference of my life, a tremendous difference in the quality of relationships that I've had, that I have, that I maintain, that enabled me to master, if you will, or to at least influence on a really deep level an experience that I had, a deep, profound healing experience that I had over a decade ago with leukemia, a rare form of cancer that was nothing short of, in my experience, miraculous, that enables me to be here today and share this with you now. So it not only affects the world around you, it not only affects the language you use, it not only affects your relationships, but it affects your relationship with yourself on such a deep level, you actually could influence what's going on in your body. And that's been my experience. So I want to share first with you the model that this is based on, because the model is based on 30 plus years of experience of working with athletes, executives, entrepreneurs, performing artists, high performing people in all areas of life that have applied these principles in one form or another to accomplish results that they desire. This model I call the biology of transformation. And the biology of transformation is basically a model. I'm going to show it here next to me. It's going to appear right here on the screen. And there it is. And if you see, as you see on the model, that we start with our experience or the results that we're experiencing in our lives. And sort of part of the why of the inquiry is that if there's something you want to change, some results that you're experiencing that you would rather experience a different version of. And so this we start with that at the top of the model. And then the different stages along the way are different steps of our awareness, different steps of our mindfulness. And why they're blocked out that way is because the spaces in between them, which are really more of a three-dimensional sphere than a flat circle, on a piece of paper. By that I mean the relationship of one to another is much more multidimensional. It's not linear or temporal. You don't have to go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. Sometimes it goes from 1 to 7 to 4 to 8 to that kind of thing. So it's not always linear or temporal. In fact, in my experience with high performing individuals, it rarely is. And so we lay it out like this to make it a little easier to get your arms around, to understand intellectually, because once it gets through that filter, you'll feel true. So the first step is observing those results, those experiences that you have. I refer to that in the model as perceptions, because it's not just what we see. It often is what we see, but it is also what we hear and what we feel with our bodies, not emotional body, what we taste, what we smell. Actually, all of these things result in triggers that are based on beliefs. So we'll keep going. So the perceptions, what's going on in the world around us, the information that we perceive and receive travels through specific pathways through our body. We call these neural pathways. This is the way our bodies transmit information from one place to another, from our eyes to our brain or our heart, from our ears to our muscles to whatever. Again, non-temporal. It doesn't always happen that we hear something, go through a process, think about it, and then respond. Sometimes it's we hear something and we jump, our physical body. That's called a reflex. And the difference we've found in science over the years is that a reflex, you can't really change a reflex without some kind of trauma, some kind of interruption. And that reflexes can be interrupted by narcotics, they can be interrupted by surgery, they can be interrupted by injury, that kind of thing. But a habit gets interrupted through our consciousness. So what we can change is really what we're focusing on in using this model. So we have the perceptions, that information travels along neural pathways, and that results in our feelings. That's our biological response. We feel things based on what has been hardwired, and that's what those references are. The bottom reference there. A reference is really just what psychologists call the information that gets accumulated in our memory, the case we build, if you will, for believing a certain thing, which is the next step, our beliefs. If we have an experience, I'll give you an example so you can find yourself in this experience. We perceive something, that information follows a neural pathway, it stimulates a feeling. The feeling was generated or took hold in our habit because of beliefs that we had. The beliefs are built on references. The references are the data points that we use to justify believing a certain thing. So let's say loud noises cause us to feel unsafe or scared. Okay, so that feeling is based on references that we've accumulated over time, that loud noises result in us being unsafe. Something may have happened between the time we were 0 and 7 years old where a loud noise actually may have injured us or may have frightened the people around us, and we were led to believe that maybe we were in harm's way. That is an example of references that were accumulated to support a belief that loud noises equal potential harm. And we build on those beliefs if we're not conscious. And that's the real key about this, is to be aware, to be conscious, so that when we are experiencing the perception of what's going on around us, experiencing the information following our bodies and coming up with feelings, as we're experiencing those things, we have an opportunity to look at the beliefs consciously and make a judgment and a values decision in that moment, given our consciousness, given our current situation, not the situation that existed when the belief took hold. Probably, again, in that time between 0 and 7 years old, when we didn't have the wherewithal, spiritual, intellectual, physical, psychological wherewithal to filter it out, to say, wait a second, I don't think I totally believe that. I'm not going to take hold of that. I'm not going to allow that to take hold in my body as a belief. And so when we're not conscious of it, we make decisions based on that. And those decisions usually result in actions that we take. And and those actions have results. We see results in our lives. And so what is really cool is by influencing the decisions, by taking responsibility to undergo a little bit of inquiry into the beliefs, into the references that support the belief, into the feelings behind the references that support the belief. By inquiring into those things, we can begin to shift those habits biologically, that's why we call it the biology of transformation, shift those habits to make new decisions to result in new actions, which of course ultimately change the results we experience in our lives. So that's where the power of these inquiries manifest themselves in our lives. And so the inquiries are really designed to take advantage of these opportunities, to take advantage of the impact that our mindfulness and our awareness can have on the results we experience in our lives. Okay, so follow me. There are 7 inquiries altogether. There are primary inquiries and secondary inquiries. The primary inquiries are focused on the immediate information that we can handle, that we can look at and have the most immediate effective impact. I'm sharing these with you because I want these to take hold immediately so you can start enjoying the benefits of this information that thousands of people have enjoyed the benefits of over the years in my coaching and my speaking and training. Because what I want for you is to be able to experience what you need to experience, do the catharsis that you need to do in order so that your pain and your injuries and your wounds can serve you rather than hold you back. Wouldn't that feel great? Wouldn't that just feel awesome? So what I've seen thousands of examples of people who've undergone the inquiries, who use the inquiries, and then experience the shift in the decisions and actions that they make and take, and they experience the joy and the peace and just the wonderful feelings that are created when new results are created and new experiences are experienced. So each of these opportunities, I call them neuro opportunities. These are opportunities for you to have your information travel along new neural pathways so that you can experience those changed results. So follow me here. The first inquiry comes in between sort of when you're experiencing something that is unpleasant, something that you know or your experience tells you could possibly result in something that's not a great outcome for you. You begin the inquiry by asking, what do I see? And what that means is look around. What am I experiencing? What am I experiencing? What result am I seeing right this moment? Now that could be seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, feeling with my touch. What am I seeing? Directly related to your perceptions. Because in the moment, you want to make sure that you're seeing things accurately. So that presents a new opportunity or a moment where you can say, oh, wait a second, I thought that was a big truck coming down the road, and so I'm not going to step off the curb. It's unsafe. I have these feelings based on a belief that took hold when I was a kid. I thought I saw a big truck, but it was actually just a shadow. I'm actually not in harm's way. It's all good. I can keep walking. So that's just an example, but that's why the first what do I see? And then the next inquiry is, what do I feel? What got stirred up when I saw that thing? So oh my gosh, I'm feeling fear. I'm feeling fear of loss, feeling fear that I'm unsafe. I'm feeling maybe it's anger. I'm feeling anger, and whatever emotion it is that I'm experiencing, I'm feeling it. Then if just these first 2 inquiries are so powerful, what do I see? Oh, well, I thought I saw a truck, but it's actually just a shadow. I'm still feeling fear, though. I'm feeling unsafe. It gives us opportunities to take care of ourselves in the moment, to be present in the moment, so that as we do the deeper inquiries, we are continually going deeper into self-care, which allows us to be ultimately more present. Now, that may sound like a selfish thing, self-care, talking about self-care, but if you're more present, what you really are is more available to be your higher self, to be more available to help and to be present to the needs of others. So self-care ultimately really is just about the most selfless thing you're capable of doing. So what do I see? What do I feel? The next is, what do I believe? What beliefs are kicking in this experience? To use the example of the thinking I see a truck coming around the corner and maybe feeling unsafe. Do I believe I'm in harm's way based on something that may have I experienced as a child? Well, I might have a belief that all people who drive big trucks, are unsafe because the trucks are just so big and they can't see me because I'm too little. And it's based on, maybe my experience. I actually can relate to this. One time I was waiting at the bus stop. Maybe that's why I chose this example. But one time I was at the bus stop in the wintertime up in upstate New York, and the snowplow came along, and I was standing behind the snowbank, and the truck couldn't see me. Scared the daylights out of me as the truck whizzed by. I got pounded with a big wall of snow that came over the snowbank because the snow driver couldn't see me. Well, I may have established a belief then that these giant trucks just make me, put me in harm's way. And unless I short circuit that somehow through my consciousness by being aware, then I can tell myself, if I believe that trucks put me in harm's way, but then I say to myself, wow, I thought I saw a big truck. Turns out that it's just a shadow, short-circuited there. But if I miss it there, then it's, what do I feel? I feel unsafe. Well, am I actually unsafe? Let's just check that. Not actually unsafe. I believe all trucks are dangerous, but there's no truck. But if I step off to the side of the road, I'm good. I just don't stand in the middle of the road and I'll be fine. So these are different ways that we can short circuit that habit and begin to rewire those neural pathways. That's the whole point of this, is we begin to rewire those neural pathways, and those habits start to result in different decisions and different beliefs over time. New beliefs are established, and those neural pathways are established, and eventually the fear, that we don't even experience the fear. We don't even experience the fear of loss or the harm's way or anything like that. And so the next thing after, what do I see, what do I feel, what do I believe, is what can I do? What can I do right in this moment? So in the truck example, again, or even the loud noise example, let's say I perceive this thing, I double check that, I feel unsafe, I believe that I'm in harm's way. I can take action in the moment to either remove myself from harm's way, or just, I may have eliminated the whole thing just by doing the inquiries, understanding that it's not really there. The feeling is just a feeling. It's just energy moving through my body based on an old habit, but it's not actually there. So that's cool. That would take care of that too. Addressing the belief. Oh, that's what I believe, but that doesn't apply to this situation because I'm not actually in harm's way. And I can take action, step out of the way, or take action, go deeper into the inquiries, find out a little more about where this belief comes from. Oh, isn't that interesting? That kind of thing. And really take the opportunity, ultimately, to address the feeling and that little child inside of us who is feeling the terror or feeling the loss or feeling the sadness or feeling the anger based on those things that happen between 0 and 7, our ages 0 to 7 years, where we're most impressionable. We don't have the wherewithal to filter that stuff out, right? And so we can step in and be a spokesperson on behalf of that little boy or little girl and say, no, you know what? I get it. This is, of course, why. Of course you would be terrified. No judgment. Of course, anybody would. That any little kid would be. Totally reasonable. You don't have anything to shame or feel guilty about. And look at what's true now. We're big. We're adults. We're conscious. We can take actions to protect ourselves. We can take care of ourselves. We can take ourselves out of harm's way. We can do all those things to address the needs of the little boy or little girl inside, and actually in the present moment be safe. What's really cool about that is, as you get better at this, you begin to kind of re-raise that little boy or little girl inside yourself. You get to do that with love, without judgment, without blame, without shame. You really get to embrace that little child who really is a precious, doing his or her best, and wants to evolve, wants to grow up, wants to be conscious and aware and know that he's not unsafe. So the first four inquiries are really the heart and soul of the process of really raising and re-raising that child to be the confident, self-actualized, focused, mindful, aware, and conscious human being who you are, the light in the world you're here to be, and really, really present so you can be that fully. So those are the first four inquiries. What do I see? What do I feel? What do I believe? And what can I do? And then once you get good at those inquiries, we kind of add a new layer. And in the coaching program, we talk a lot about really nailing down the habits of those first four inquiries. And then after a fashion, after you develop some mastery with those first four inquiries, we add three more, these really sort of deeper level inquiries, higher level inquiries, if you will. And I'll share them with you. We won't get them into such detail on this video, but know that they're out there and they're here to serve you, and certainly can add to the quality and the substance and the texture of these inquiries and assist you in really up-leveling and re-raising that beautiful, beautiful light, that inner child of yours that is here simply to express love and light and truth and harmony and peace and joy and abundance, and to know that little boy or little girl in such a profound way that he or she feels safe to grow. And so the fifth, sixth, and seventh inquiry are what just happened. So oftentimes, what do I see? The deeper inquiry is what just happened. Because once we become adept at the inquiries, and once we become adept at really breaking that down and getting to the truth in the moment and recognizing the roots of where they come from our childhood, that 0 to 7 point where the nasty stuff seems to happen and take hold, once we do that, what just happened really can alert us to what we see, to really see more clearly. Like what just happened 2 seconds before I heard the loud noise. Did something in my world jostle my reality a little bit? Was I in a state of sort of imbalance just in that moment when I heard that noise or saw that shadow that made me think, oh, there's a truck, I'm in harm's way? It can be really profound, because once you get really mindful and aware at that level, you become much more present to the situation, much more present to the present. And so you start to almost immediately see, oh, it's a shadow. I was vulnerable to it because I was just crying about something. I was just feeling sadness about something. I just got some bad news, or I just had an argument and I was really agitated, and so I was jumpy. And so what I saw was likely to be through the jumpy filter, and instead of the accuracy of what I truly see now. And so what just happened can really shed a lot of light on how we see the world. So what just happened is an important fifth inquiry, and at the same time a higher level inquiry, not as fundamental to the practice, and why it's a secondary inquiry. So the sixth step is, where did I go? So that just happened. I just saw that. Where did I go? Like, did I completely check out? Did I go totally unconscious? Did I go so into my rage or fear that I completely abandoned the present moment and abandoned myself in the process and abandoned all level of self-care, etc.? Or did I go back to a time when I was, if we're in an argument and I'm in the heat of the moment and you say something that just triggers the heck out of me, and that trigger comes from one of those 0 to 7 moments that happened in my childhood, and I just feel so enraged that I lose that consciousness and I go to that place. I go to my 5-year-old self and I throw a tantrum or whatever. Where did I go? Becomes a much richer inquiry once you have the basics of what do I see, what do I feel, what do I believe, what can I do down, and begin to rewire and reintegrate those new neural pathways. And the last inquiry is really an inquiry at the highest level, and that is, who can I be? Who would I have to be in this moment in order to see things for the way they are, accept myself fully for who I am, recognize the influence my past has on me, and then step into the moment with the most resourceful, most abundant mindset, with truth that I am here, that I am light, that I am love, that I'm here to serve, I'm here to be this in the world, and this is who I am, that I actually need to do nothing other than be present to fulfill my purpose as that. And so at the highest level, who can I be now can be such a beautiful inquiry, and the answer to which can bring such peace and such joy and such freedom and such abundance by bringing ourselves fully into the moment without regard to the past, and fully allow us to take what's available, recognize the truth of resourcefulness, that we're intimately and infinitely connected to abundant resources and pure potential, and then take all of that and move through the moment into the next moment with being our full selves, our fullest, most brightest, most potent expression of ourselves in the human experience. So, what do I see? What do I feel? What do I believe? What can I do? What just happened? Where did I go? Who can I be now? The 7 inquiries, the answers to which have the power to heal your life. I hope you've enjoyed this brief explanation of them. And, the invitation, of course, is to go deeper. If you've enjoyed this on an intellectual and hopefully emotional and basically ultimately a spiritual level, if you get this and it resonates with you, I've created 3 videos that I want to share. We'll go even deeper into it. And it's all on with my compliments. I want you to do this because it's important for me. The more people that I feel so strongly that the more people who practice the inquiries will elevate their consciousness to such a level that the world essentially will become a kinder place, a safer place. There's so many people in this world for whom it's unsafe because either they're deeply feeling individuals, super sensitive individuals, or somehow individuals who have less resources available to them, and we want to make it safe for them to be in the world too. So undertake the inquiries, because I know that a person unwilling to feel their pain, unwilling to do the work, unwilling to uncover the whys and whos and whats of their life, a person unwilling to do that, unwilling to feel that pain, unwilling to process that, will inflict that pain on others. I'd like to stop that. I'd like to stop that process. So for you, I'd like to make that a healing experience. If you'd like to go deeper into this, watch the 3 videos, enter your name and your email address, and we'll get those videos to you. Go deeper into it, get some more practice with the inquiries, hopefully very quickly enjoy the benefits of greater peace, love, joy, freedom, the whole deal for you, because that's who you are in this world. You're a light and you're love, you're pure potential, you are absolute connection to everything you desire, and I am here to help you get it. So enter your name and email now, get the 3 videos. I'll see you on the next video.